don't know if people are aware of your investigation about the Pigford and how you're getting shut up. No other.
Well, you're not going to get me to shut up if
but
you
no,
ask me about Pigford.
They're blackballed. They're not like no other media's covering it at all.
Yeah.
Like the search is the only name that comes up. You know.
Yeah, it's because they don't want to touch on. I tripped upon the mother lode in the charade thing. The reason why he fired her. She said, my piece said, eventually her basic humanity informs her to help the white farmer. It's in there. Chris Matthews defended me on that. Okay, they said he edited it out. No, it's in there. In my piece I wrote, eventually her basic humanity says informs her to help the white farmer. She tells Barack Obama, she says, but I helped the white farmer. Why did he continue to fire her? A day later, he said, no, I stand by this decision, because she was about to get, that week, $13.3 million between she, her husband, and their defunct communal farm, New Communities Inc., the largest ever payment in Pigford, which Barack Obama used to get elected. He resurrected what was a dead over case by the USDA. Black farmers, a very, 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 very small group of black farmers sued the USDA. The USDA admitted no wrongdoing, settled, and there was a $1.5 million payout that ended in the year 2000. That's when the statute of limitations ended. There are 18,000 black farmers in this country. There were supposed to be upwards of 3,000 claimants, and after Pigford won, there were 22,500 claimants, 4,500 more than there are actual black farmers in the country. Okay, so the numbers don't add up, right? So the head of the National Black Farmers Association, who's getting paid by the class action attorneys who are making hundreds of millions of dollars of your taxpayer money off of the suit, they're making the tens of millions of dollars. This guy by the name of John Boyd, who we just disproved that he's not a doctor within the last 2 weeks. He's been using that to testify before Congress. I'm Dr. John Boyd of the National Black Farmers Association. He's not a doctor, nor does he have an institute to help black farmers. He's just a scam artist, and he's been testifying before Congress. And he told Barack Obama in the year 2006 or 2007 that if you help resurrect Pigford, Pigford's over, 22,500 claimants, when there are only 18,000 black farmers, when there are only supposed to be upwards of 3,000 that were getting claims. I have all the black farmers that were in the initial suit. They got screwed over. They lost their farms, and the people who got the checks, the $50,000 checks, were their neighbors who worked at Best Buy or who were mechanics, or it was just, a matter of fact, over 50% of the people who got $50,000 checks are women, when only, I think, 6% of farmers are women. So just people are getting $50,000 checks because they were being told in the churches, if you answer these questions properly, you'll get a $50,000 check. And so we actually went undercover in a church in Monroe, Louisiana in January and taped them, and teaching them that this is reparations. And that if you sign up and you get this $50,000, this is for your grandfather, your great-grandfather, etc. And this guy, John Boyd, the head of the National Black Farmers Association, said to Barack Obama, if you sign on to Pigford, we can get you reelected in the rural black South. And he becomes the sole Senate sponsor. How much legislation did Barack Obama do in his Senate campaign? Pigford. And it was to get elected in the rural black South, because it was like $50,000 checks going out to everyone, to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and not to the actual farmers. And so what Barack Obama did with this legislation that he sponsored in the Congressional Black Caucus I tripped upon this story. That's what pisses them off, is that they're suing me right now through charade because they want to silence me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm going straight at this story. I'm coming after you, Barack Obama, because you created Pigford 2, which took the late filers an extra 72,000 names. Okay, 22,000 plus 22,000, 94,000 when there are only 18,000 black farmers in the country. And Barack Obama did this in order to get elected. When I call it reparations, that's how they sell it at reparations conventions around this country. At the Dorothy, what's her name? She was like the alderman of the 4th Ward in Chicago that Barack Obama endorsed over the SEIU candidate. And her only role, her her only thing she stands for is that, as a politician in the Fourth Ward, is the reparations movement. And so she has the reparations conventions. And at the reparations conventions, the head of the National Black Farmers Association says, Pigford is the reparations movement. And so because of Barack Obama, they added an extra $1.25 billion in $50,000 checks going to non-farmers throughout the South. And that's how Barack Obama won South Carolina. That's how Barack Obama won South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. That's when Bill Clinton lost his mind, because he thought, after years and years of having neutralized the black church. I know the story back. Trust me, I sleep, drink Pigford all the time, and I'm going to continue going after it because we have so much. We have so much stuff.
Well, I want you, because you told me before, tell them about the standard. All you do is say you would have been a farmer, right?
They changed it. The lawyers at the last second said that all you had to say that you attempted to farm. So they teach them to say, so anybody can get it. All you had to do was say that you attempted to farm. That's why people were, and they were coached in the churches by these guys who claimed to be the Black Farmers and Agriculturists Association, or the National Black Farmers Association. They presented themselves as respectable, but they got a cut from how much, from the people that they signed up, from the lawyers. They were what they call cutters. I think that's what they're called. Yeah. So anyway, it's complicated, but I'm going to keep going after it because Barack Obama got elected under false pretenses and commandeered the. What I do for a living. It's real fun.
Yeah. Now that they're teaching themselves how to count in DC over debt, do you have any observations on what the real debt number is? I mean, the off-budget.
I have no idea. I'm not that person. Ask Mike Flynn at Big Government. I mean, I don't have an answer for you. I can give you a bullshit answer, and like.
The reason I ask is that they keep talking about 14.3.
I don't know.
When the off-budget number is anywhere from 59.
That's what I would think. I think it's a lot worse. I think that we're headed, like, I think we hit the iceberg already. I think it's.
What do you think we can do to better advertise the off-budget number? Because that's a huge.
I don't know. I mean, write about it more. I don't know.
There's apparently an effort to keep the U.S. debt clock up.
Talk to my client. Honestly, I'm a culture guy and I'm like macro guy, but I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I'd have to talk to you about the information and all that.
What would be your comment on the Huffington Post oil deal?
Oh, that I'm the only person kicked off of the front page of Huffington Post? Or that they made $315 million.
I was under the impression that someone who invested in Huffington Post worked at AOL.
I'm sure. It was such a rigged process. Think about this. The mainstream media is left of center. Yet the Huffington Post emerges, and all it does is reflect what the mainstream media does, and they buy another new media enterprise for $315 million that reinforces their worldview. Yet there are countless conservative, and those same forces are against Fox News. Like, you can't even exist. I have 1,000 channels on DirecTV, and the entire left and the entire media is fixated on trying to shut down, Fox News. So there's a lot of money out there in Manhattan for liberal projects, and there's almost none for conservative. The conservative movement, and whatever money it has, whatever the capitalists have, they don't see the value, unfortunately, and the power in new media. They invest everything into the political process. They'd rather give $3 million every 6 years to Orrin Hatch and cross their fingers that things work out than to invest $10 million once in a new media enterprise and have something that reports the truth every single day. So the entire movement is so improperly oriented towards emphasizing only funding the political class and the think tanks, and we're losing because the left understands it's about the media and the right doesn't understand that.
Speaking of media, what are your thoughts about the Board of Governors? I don't know if you know about this, but like Radio Free America.
I don't know about that. Okay,
so the government, essentially the federal government, funds close to $800 billion a year to be a propaganda machine in various...
Stop it. I don't know. I can't answer something I know nothing about.
Any media
but-
vehicles for you? Andrew?
What?
Any media vehicles, anything Jon Stewart-esque or Bill Maher-esque?
I'm
Party
doing
conservative,
that I would do?
That you all
I'm pitching right now. I don't want like the Glenn Beck slot. I don't want to do talk radio. I feel like I'm this wonderful ADD freak who likes to be on rollerblades and in the left space. And they did a documentary. No Lycra. I'm not a fan of Lycra. And what I realized, they filmed me for a year doing a documentary on me. It's coming out in 6 months. I said, what would you do following me? I mean, I just like walk around with jeans and like a blazer. What possibly could happen? And this thing is basically an action film. It's like me, like in fights, you know, in the middle of scrums with left-wingers, going into protests all over the place. And so I realized what I want to do for the 2012 election cycle, and hopefully somebody in Hollywood will accept this premise, but we're pitching a show called Breitbart 12, where I'll be out there in a bus with new media people who all have cameras and go to the Republican convention, the Democrat convention, go to New Hampshire, go to Iowa, go to the primaries, go everywhere, and show how the sausage is made through the prism of the media, through the prism of, you know, access to all the candidates, but interviewing them in a way that they've never been interviewed before. Here's what I would do. I would go to the DNC convention and get a dunk tank, and I would sit there wearing like a 1920s swimsuit and taunt them as they're coming by, and put like $100 for a ball to drop me into like Kool-Aid or something with a piranha in it. But that $100 would go towards a military, you know, like something that like would cause them to go, I'm not giving money, or I just want to screw with their heads and like an entertaining level, and maybe there will be some insight, but I don't feel comfortable.
You're not going to be there in a chair
I don't
with
feel
a desk.
comfortable. Yeah, I
Yes.
hate that. I'm telling you, I lose it. I'm way too ADD. I really am out of control. Is that it?
Yeah, guys, we have,
Thank you.